The mountaintop. How did he build it? Did he build everything on an angle? I'm talking about the mountaintop, the Rabbi, the mountaintop of the Holy Temple. How exactly did it work? Where did he build? So I'm going to share with you a very interesting Maimonides that explains exactly how this whole construction was. But before this, Mizmoy lesoido rila adonai kol haaretz ibdos adonai b'simcha b'elefanav b'nona duka adonai Elohim hu asanu v'lo enach na'ama b'tzay marisa bo yishor b'soido chatzroiso b'silo hoido lebachu shmoy ki tov adonai le'olam chasdo v'yador v'dor b'emunosoi. Together with our thanks to Hashem, with prayers to Hashem for the security of our soldiers, for the return of the hostages. Die! Enough! Time for Geula, especially these days. Definitely appropriate day. So the Rambam in chapter 6 of Hilchos Beis HaBchira, Laws of the Beis HaMikdash, I'll read to you the first few words. Hamikdash kuloi lo haya b'mishoy. The entire Beis HaMikdash, the entire sanctuary, was not straight, flat construction. Elo b'male hahar, was built on the gradual ascension on the mountain. And he goes on to explain. Let me give you a brief description what he says. When you entered, when a person entered from the eastern gate to the temple, so there was one level. From there was 12 steps to the next level, which is called the Ezrat Nashim, the ladies' court. From the ladies' court, there was 15 steps to go up to the Ezrat Yisrael, the Israelite court. Then there was 2.5 amot, approximately 7 feet, to go from there to the Ezrat Kohanim, the court of the Kohanim. Then 12 steps to the Ulam, which was the big hall, which there was the menorah, the shulchan, the shubret table, the golden altar for the incense. And then behind the curtain was the Kodesh HaKadashim, the holiest of holiest, which was on the same level. That's briefly what the Rambam discusses in many, many details. But here's an interesting question. Why is the Rambam starting to tell us that the mountain was not straight, but there was elevations? Why can't you tell me simply, the mountain, there was elevations? What is he coming to renege on something? He's coming to say, it is not this, it's that. So here's an interesting thought, as the Rebbe explains. Why was those elevations? Now the elevations represent different levels of spirituality. Bet HaMikdash, the place where God is present, so there were different levels of God presence. And there were basically 4 different levels. I'm not going to go into now to the Kabbalistic concept, what those 4 levels represent, but 4 different levels of godly presence. Obviously, the holiest, the ultimate, the top is the Kodesh HaKadashim, the inner sanctuary where there was the Luchat, the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark with the Luchat inside. So the Rambam tells us first, I want you to know that it was not like the Mishkan. Because the Mishkan that we spoke of yesterday in the desert and then in Shiloh and Gilgal, Nov and Givon, the temporary one was on flat land. The Bet HaMikdash, which is permanent, was on elevations. The reason for that is because the Mishkan, wherever it stood, did not permeate the land upon which it was. The land stayed land. As soon as the Mishkan moved further, the land didn't stay holy. So it really didn't affect the place where it was. So therefore, there is no concept of different elevations in the land itself, because the land wasn't affected. The temple, which is permanent, which David HaMelech established for the permanent, because the third one will also be over there, The mountaintop itself is holy. So that holiness, presence of God had to manifest itself in the actual ground, different levels of the ground. So therefore, says the Rambam, it wasn't like the Mishkan, it was totally different, a totally different reality. The Mishkan was telling God is amongst you. The Beis Hamikdash tells us God has permeated the physical world. And that's a fundamental difference. And then the Rambam says further, goes on elevation to tell us in our own personal temple, we always have to keep on going higher and higher and higher till we reach the ultimate inner sanctuary. And may God help that we should see this wonderful Beis Hamikdash already today through the revelation of Mashiach.